I'm here with the boys from Siamese.
What's up?
Yeah.
They're in Toronto. They're touring across North America right now. Their first time ever, not only in North America, but in Canada. So welcome to Toronto.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You guys just played your first show. How was it? I have to start off by asking you that. How was this first show ever in Toronto? Sold out.
Exactly. Like you said, sold out show.
Yeah.
That's unreal for us to come here and play our first show ever and sold out.
Yeah, that felt really good.
Yeah.
It really did. And yeah, to travel this long and see like people singing along to your stuff, even though you're this far from home, that's just crazy. So I mean, this whole tour is just yeah, we're on the moon, like, you know, in a good way. It's like really, it's crazy. Yeah.
It is crazy.
When you guys found out that you're coming on this tour, you're going to be part of this package touring in North America, did you guys immediately have a set of expectations of what you would like to see, not knowing that you were going to see, but what would you like to see in terms of response, in terms of numbers, merch? Did you guys have like a bar that you set for yourselves?
We did so, but we set it really low. And for me personally, after the COVID, I was like, okay, we're doing this tour, but are we really doing it? It was not until we landed in LA and we were like, okay, we are here.
Yeah, and it's been like that a couple of times, you know, because of COVID, and let's not talk too much about that. We're past that now, but like we had Australia, we had a Japan on the like we had these different tours that didn't happen. So yeah, with a big tour like this, it's like, okay, we gotta see it before we believe it.
Yeah. So that was the low bar, just to come to the US and to Canada, and we're here now. And now I think we set the bar a little higher now. After some of the first shows, they went really well.
Yeah.
So it's going really good.
And then you guys land in LA. I saw some of your Facebook posts. To say that you guys went through some humps, I think it's an understatement. How do you handle that mentally? Because you're on this high, you're coming into this big tour, and suddenly, right off the gate, you're faced with obstacles. So how was that?
Yeah, first of all, we had the jet lag, but we knew that.
Yeah.
And then I think the first really, like, the fucking is what we call it when when something bad happened, was that we were supposed to get our merch and it didn't arrive. Or it did arrive, but the UPS store could not receive it, which was kind of weird. It was okay because we knew, okay, they're gonna send it to the venue next day. The next day, the venue was not able to receive it, so we were like, okay, this is like the money for our tour that we don't have.
Yeah, that's how we get by, you know.
Yeah.
We gotta sell some merch in order to actually be able to pay for the RV.
Yeah.
Like.
So without the merch, it was kind of a shitty start. Yeah. Suddenly, we had the call that we could collect the merch. Me and Joakim got in the RV.
And we were like super excited, running on the street. We just played this LA show and it went well. And okay, let's go. We're gonna get the merch. Tour is on.
10 seconds later,
the front wheel popped.
Flat tire.
Flat tire.
Yeah.
And then we were stuck in, speaking of just before, like a really bad part in LA, bad area where there were just like homeless junkies running around talking to the concrete and shouting at each other, and yeah,
someone owed some money.
I want my money. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up, bitch. And it kept on going for an hour, and it was like, oh.
And for us Danes there is for us to come to LA and experience that was kind of a culture shock. But I'll say 8 hours later we had the merch and we were out of LA, and it was kind of smooth sailing from that point.
And how's the merch sales been for you guys? I know, like you said a really low bar.
Yeah.
So has the bar been passed, and are you setting now a higher bar?
Obviously we did a budget for the tour, and we are on schedule with that.
Yeah.
So it's going really well.
We're on budget.
Yeah. So. The first two shows was we didn't have the merch from the LA show, and the second show was a bit low, but we had some really good evenings. So we're above the low bar that we set.
When it came to put the set list for this tour, because you have a limited amount of time to play, obviously you're not headlining, so what was the thought process behind picking what songs needed to be on this set list?
Yeah, like we definitely needed to put The Shape of Water on it. We released that like a month and a half ago, something like that. Like we're still here branding the home album, so definitely we needed a lot of tracks from that one, and then in the order of the set, we kind of actually changed it on the way as well, because a lot of the songs we're doing, they have intros that are quite long. Like Sloboda has a really long one, Heights Above has a really long one. And we've melted Heights Above and Home together, so Home has a really long one suddenly, and the whole Numb intro, the whole show intro.
Intros, yeah.
So a lot of intros. So our thought process regarding that was just basically that we had to, set it together in a way that so it's exciting for people to actually listening to, and not just being a long intro song, or long intro song.
But beside the home that we're still doing a lot of songs from that, we obviously have to play Ocean Bed as well, which is the song that kind of kicked us off from where we were before to where we are now, and hopefully we'll
I'll keep on growing.
Keep on growing.
Yeah.
Have you guys had some time to look back at Home, that record as a whole, and maybe evaluate what that album has done for you guys? Have you taken the time to do that? And what's your takeaway from that album and everything that album has done for you guys as a band?
Well, it has a lot of layers. Like the first part that should be mentioned is, speaking of COVID again, we didn't plan to write that record at all. We planned to tour a lot and maybe do a single or two. And then COVID hit, and we had a shitload of time. And in Denmark, you weren't allowed to hang with that many people. It was around 5-10 people at the time, and it was like that for 6 months. So we went to summer houses and did that record together, especially Mirza and Andreas did it. But we just, we got a much larger friendship grown from that period. So going from not at all even making music and not hanging out that much, we went from that to being together a lot and doing what came out to be the Home record. So at least that.
So was the pandemic somewhat positive?
For us it was super positive. And like it really was, and it changed a lot of stuff for us personally as well. So.
And I think, like we talked about our bad luck in the beginning of the tour, we try to stay positive all the time, and I think we had the same kind of mentality during the COVID. Like, okay, the tours are cancelled, let's try and do something else instead. And
definitely.
And then Home was born, and it was good.
But like the pandemic was horrible for a lot of people, and we respect that. You know, it's not. But for us, it was positive. Like we got the chance to actually stop up and just look around and make the music we wanted to, and like put the time into projects that were nice instead of just running with 60 miles per hour kind of. So that was good.
When you're on a tour like this and you're playing quite a few songs from Home, I mean, I would say the majority of the set is from Home. Does that also give you the not only energy but the ideas of where you're going to go forward as a band as far as your sound, in terms of what works live and how can we incorporate that in the next studio record? Are you looking at these tours also as kind of like a springboard to what the next album is going to be?
Yeah, we definitely are. We are trying to do not the Home recipe. We're going to mix it up a bit, but we're going to do a new album with a lot of that energy we have from those songs into the new album. We'll be pushing toward that, but with a little new spice here and there on top.
And then actually when we do the songs, some parts are really good live that we wouldn't figure was a live thing, and then we kind of like go into that and try to develop that. So like when we do the live sets, I do them in it's a program called Ableton where you like set it up and you can do all this shit with it. But we actually like develop and do more with the songs, you know, doing those like intros and like crossfades, whatever. So the record, like the album song, is one thing, and then we try to do at least mixing it up a bit for the live.
Yeah.
So we got some extra layers and some extra stuff going on when we play live.
But this is, of course, also a promotional tour for us to be over here and to play for so many new faces. And it would be weird for us to play all these songs and then make a totally different album after home. So people they can expect something, not that they heard before, but it's not a jazz album we're putting out.
No.
Yeah.
No, and we found out like...
Or country.
Yeah.
Oh, country. Yeah, why not?
But you know, like we found out with the Shape of Water that like we enjoy writing that, we enjoy playing it, and it seems like people enjoy that we do the harder stuff as well.
That's actually going to take me to my next question,
Yeah.
because when you guys are performing, maybe you behind the drum kit is a little bit tougher, but for the guys that are up front, they can see the faces, they can see, you know, the interaction with the audience. Is there a song on this tour from this set list that you see a bigger reaction than any other track? Is there one that stands out in your mind?
I think it's easier for you because you sit down all the time.
Yeah, I actually look. I actually
have good vision.
yeah,
Yeah,
I do. I
yeah.
actually look quite a lot to the people. And there are two songs. It is definitely Ocean Bed, the last song we play. It's like, oh, it's up on the top 5 on Spotify, so people know that. You know, even if they didn't know Siamese before coming out to a show on this tour, they kind of like, you know, shuffle those 5s, and then they get that. And then we can see that, I can see that people are really singing along to The Shape of Water as well.
Yeah.
It really has some, oomph to it. So it's like...
Is that a word?
I think it is.
Some good old
If
oomph.
it isn't the word, it is now.
Yeah, it should be.
It should be.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, if it isn't a word, it is now.
Yeah.
As you guys start to look at the end of this tour,
Don't mention the war. It's so bad. We want to stay.
because it's a short tour. It is really a short tour. So I was thinking that this maybe opens the appetite for Siamese to come back again while the visas are still fresh.
Yeah.
Can we expect you guys to return? Maybe not this year, but at least next year, based on what the reactions have been?
Yes.
We have some news we cannot share, but
Those are the best kind of news.
it's good news for the American people.
Yeah.
And we cannot say much about that, but
Safe to say you guys will be back.
we will.
It's safe to
We
say.
will.
Yeah. It definitely is.
Hopefully next year already.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Did this tour help solidify that? Or was that something that was already kind of in the plans before?
it was in the plans before the tour, but of course, the thing we cannot talk about, they knew that we were doing this tour.
And it actually happened while on this tour.
Yeah,
The thing we cannot talk about.
yeah.
The thing that we shall not say.
Yeah. But 2024 is a good year for Siamese and North America.
I have a feeling like you guys are going to be back in 2024
What?
touring on
How?
a new record.
How do you?
How?
I don't know. I'm just
No.
I'm getting that vibe.
Yeah, okay.
I'm getting that vibe. I'm nobody's confirming.
No, no,
deny.
exactly.
Nobody's
We're
confirming
just,
or denying.
yeah.
We're
Yeah.
just kind of going with it. Last question for you guys. I mean, Bury Tomorrow are an iconic metalcore band. They bring you guys on this massive tour with great bands on the lineup. What kind of knowledge are you guys taking, if it's not given to you, from being on a tour with a band like Bury Tomorrow?
Where to start? I mean,
Yeah, where to start? Yeah, but we can just see the level of professionalism they bring into each show. Not that we don't, but we still have something to learn. We travel really light on this tour, and it's really weird not to like play your own drums and stuff like that. But we can see they just fit on the stage. Bury Tomorrow, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I was about to say that as well.
Yeah.
Especially the lead singer. It's crazy, like the stage presence he has. We played a show in Detroit, and it wasn't sold out, and it was like he wanted the show to be even better because there were a lack of people. Like he was just so fucking stage present and really cool. And just in general, I think what we can learn is they're a huge band. Before this tour, they played Brazil Summer Breeze edition in front of 10,000 people, and you know they just come as humble as nobodies, even though they're up there. It's like they share everything and are just so cool. And
they see all our shows.
Yeah,
from the side or from the audience perspective. So they are just.
And they are just cool
kind.
guys. It's really like we love hanging out, and we have had some beers and chilled with them, and it's just so nice. Hopefully it's not the last time we're gonna tour with them, because they're really.
I hope not as well, because I think you guys are a match made in heaven.
We think so
we
too.
Think so too.
We're gonna propose to them tonight. Actually.
Yeah.
On that note, guys, thank you very much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. Once again, a sold-out show in Toronto. The Canadian fans love all of you, and I could tell because you guys played early in the day, and the place was already packed.
Yeah.
So big reception from the Toronto crowd for Siamese. Hope to see you guys. I know I'll see you guys again soon. We'll have another chat, because I'm sure there'll be another album. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much.
And thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We will be back.
Yeah.